He's the youngest player ever drafted into the NBA at 17 years and 244 days. But whatever happened to Andrew Bynum? Bynum attended St. Joseph High School in Metuchen, New Jersey, and as a senior was unstoppable, averaging over 22 points per game, 17 rebounds, and 5 blocks. And of course, putting up numbers such as this and standing at 6'11", 270 pounds, scouts were extremely excited. This kid had potential. And with that said, Bynum was heavily recruited. He was a 5-star, the 7th best player in the nation for the class of 2005, only behind Lou Williams, Andre Blatch, Martell Webster, Monte Ellis, Josh McRoberts, and of course number 1, Gerald Green. And with that said, Bynum had a plethora of offers from Georgia Tech, Georgia, North Carolina, Georgetown, and originally planned on attending UConn. However, the 17-year-old decided to directly go into the NBA, making himself eligible for the 2005 NBA draft, where he would be drafted 10th overall by the Los Angeles Lakers, behind a couple notable names such as Andrew Bogut and Chris Paul. And after being drafted by the Lakers would hire Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to work, train, and mentor him. Bynum would play in the NBA preseason at the age of 17 years old, the first time an NBA player had ever done that at 17, and showed a ton of potential. And in November of 2005, would play in the Lakers season opener, his debut game, where he played for 6 minutes, making him the youngest NBA player to ever play in an NBA game at 18 years and 6 days. Now, he did not score any points, but he did have 2 rebounds and 2 blocks. But after his rookie season was over, it was very clear Bynum had to put in a ton of work. I mean, in 46 games, averaging only about 7 minutes per game, Bynum barely shot 40% from the field and averaged 1.6 points per game and 1.7 rebounds per game. But the thing is, Bynum put in that work and started to improve year over year, eventually having a standout season during the 2011-2012 NBA season, where in 60 games, he shot 56% from the field, averaging a double-double at almost 19 points per game and 12 rebounds along with 2 blocks. He was solid. Not to mention that year, he was an NBA All-Star. But it was at that very moment, at the age of 24 years old, where Bynum had peaked as an NBA player. And it's really unfortunate to say, as it's entirely due to his knees and subsequent injuries. I mean, following his time on the Los Angeles Lakers, he'd be traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, who, by the way, knew of his knee problems. And while on the 76ers, was eventually declared out indefinitely and sat out the entire 2012-2013 season. And on March 19th of that year, would have arthroscopic surgery, ending his tenure with the 76ers entirely, not playing a single minute. For the following season, Bynum would sign with the Cleveland Cavaliers, signing a 2-year deal worth almost $25 million. And in his debut game with the Cavs, scored 3 points, had 3 rebounds in 8 minutes. Now, later that year, he would have a season high of 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks. But there were significant signs of struggle. In the game against the Pistons, he went 0 for 11 in 22 minutes. I mean, his play was all over the place. It was really hard to get a read on him after all the teams he played for and all the injuries. And in January of 2014, the Cavaliers would trade Bynum to the Chicago Bulls, where he would actually be waived the very next day, clearing upwards of $20 million in cap space for the Bulls. And just 1 month later, Bynum would sign with the Indiana Pacers, and did pretty solid in his debut game with the Pacers. He scored 8 points and had 10 rebounds. But unfortunately only appeared in 2 games before the Pacers declared him out indefinitely, due to, yes, that's right, pain and soreness in his right knee. And unfortunately, Bynum has not played in the NBA since. He tried an NBA comeback in 2018, but nothing ever materialized. And since then, he's kept a really low profile. To my knowledge, he's just living the retired life on NBA career earnings of $70 million.